The Cure. Artist in question: the godfathers of goth, The Bad Review. The Cure's 1979 debut, Three Imaginary Boys, was generally well received by critics, though tastemakers NME strongly disliked the effort, referring to the band's music as little more than a voice catching its breath, a cautiously primitive guitar riff, toy drumming, and a sprightly bass. How they proved the critics wrong by becoming 80s rock favorites and heroes to all black-wearing kids everywhere. More The Cure behind the scenes of disintegration. The Cure's dark and brooding masterpiece 113 of 1728, the best rock bands of all time 27 of 383, the greatest musical artists of the 90s. Sly and the Family Stone. Artist in question: Fearless Funk Originals. The Bad Review, though credited to Sly and the Family Stone. There's a Riot Goin' On was practically Sly Stone's solo debut, as he recorded most of the album alone in his home studio. Its dark and gritty sound bewildered many reviewers in 1971, with the Los Angeles Times summarizing, "There is little on the album that is worth your attention." More Sly and the Family Stone. 89 of 265 ranked the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees. 150 of 279, the greatest American rock bands. 6 of 219, the top pop artists of the 1960s. The Doors. Artist in question: Poets of Psychedelia. The Bad Review. The Doors came out swinging with their self-titled 1967 debut, but 2 short years later, they experienced a backlash after releasing the highly experimental LP The Soft Parade. Influential critic Robert Christgau summed up the views of music journalists thusly: "No one even thinks about the Doors anymore, such is fame." How they proved the critics wrong. Morrison and Company followed up the record with the tougher, bluesier Morrison Hotel 1970 and L. Woman 1971, which renewed their status as acclaimed artists at the forefront of rock. Arcade Fire. Artist in question: Indie Game Changers. The Bad Review. Writers and fans tend to regard Arcade Fire's first LP, Funeral, as an overwhelming success, but back in 2004, it wasn't without its detractors. Case in point, Gusted Magazine, who felt that the band was a trendy flavor of the month. To quote, "An excess of praise has been heaped upon the band by tastemakers looking to chew up and spit out the next underground icon." How they proved the critics wrong. In the last decade, Funeral has proven to be pretty much immune to the typical cycle of hype and backlash, and remains one of the best-loved records of its era. Head here if you don't believe us. More Arcade Fire. All Arcade Fire songs ranked best to worst. Random Amish guy or member of the Arcade Fire. 422 of 1891, the greatest musical artists of all time. Beck Hansen. Beck Hansen. Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd. AC/DC. Artist in question: Untamed Aussie Exports. The Bad Review. In 1976, High Voltage became the first AC/DC record to receive an international release. In a stinging assessment, Rolling Stone critic Billy Altman wrote, "The hard rock genre has unquestionably hit its all-time low. How they proved the critics wrong. Admittedly, AC/DC has always been more of a fan favorite than a critic's favorite. Their 1980 release Back in Black even earned a spot on Rolling Stone's list of the greatest albums of all time. More AC/DC, the best AC/DC songs of all time 5, 17, 28, the best rock bands of all time 21 of 383, the greatest musical artists of the 90s. Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam. Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. Vampire Weekend. Kanye West. Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath. Radiohead. Radiohead. Led Zeppelin.
Hey guys, thank you so much for the support and likes and comments down below, and also thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to see you in the next video. Then take care, bye.